You know what, y'all? Life is a very funny thing. I didn't think I'll be making this video anytime soon, or since I just made that last video about doing a review, but here I am. And to be honest, I feel like in some way my steps are being ordered, but at this point I don't know which way I'm gonna go. I don't know which way it's telling me to go, the universe, the Lord, all of that. But I didn't think I would be making this video today. Everything transpired within 2 days. So in the course of 2 days, everything pretty much changed. And when I got up that morning to get up and get my trailer loaded, I didn't think the end or the outcome would be as devastating to me as it was. But it's life, another lesson, and the story must be written and go on, right? So right now I'm at home. Today's what, October 2nd, 2024, just for a time frame like I normally do. But I just got up, got myself ready. I'm about to get in the truck and pretty much unpack my stuff, head to the terminal, and then yeah, that's pretty much it. But I know you want to know the story, so let me get it over with. So y'all, I'm in the truck right now. I think it's going on 8 a.m. Today's again October 2nd, 2024. I'm about to rush and get my stuff packed up. But you know what's crazy? Recently, because I've been saying I'm staying out so much more, like I'm not coming home every day, even though I am a local driver. Well, was a local driver. I was gonna actually make an attempt to add more stuff to the truck to be more comfortable, and I didn't. Right? I was lazy. I didn't get it done. Right? I procrastinated. And here I am so happy I didn't. If it's one lesson I'm learning about getting these trucks, being assigned to these trucks, is to not go all out anymore. Like, it's not even worth the hassle. Because even now, the little stuff that I have on here is going to be a hassle. I have to pack it up and bring it out. I have to get to the terminal by 10 a.m. I'm pretty sure. I got to hand in the keys. I got to go through probably safety, my exit, all that stuff, right? So I just want to get that wrapped up and then head home and then start my planning, because that's just me as a person. But the biggest lesson I'm getting from this, right? Even though it's not a career ending situation, but still for me, it's putting my mind in a place where I'm just like, Tatiana, you've said so many times you need to get additional income, right? You need to make sure you have a stable second and third, even more income, right? And I have so many other things that I could really be putting my time, investing my time into. But again, you don't have time to give. When you're trucking, it really is just becomes your world, right? So my time has been used up. Even with my YouTube channel, I had a decent, monthly earning. Nothing crazy, but decent in terms of growing and knowing what to do, which is consistency. That kind of plummeted and it decreased because I didn't have the time to give to it anymore, right? But y'all, I'm about to just go all out on my dreams, go all out on myself, because if it's one thing I'm learning all the time, at any point you can get snip, 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 snip. And right now, with all the changes going on, layoffs, budget cuts, I knew it was going to come regardless. I heard someone else also had this situation, and based on how it was explained to me at the receiver, the spilling, stuff like that, it was a lot, it was bad. So when I think about that and this, and that person wasn't terminated, I'm just like, I knew it was coming, because there's a lot of cuts going on. So there's no way I saw myself even making it to the next day. And again, this transpired within 2 days. So it happened on the 30th of September. October 1st, I reported everything because I was up all the way until the morning, right? To get everything done off, get the product offloaded, which I have to explain. So within 2 days, everything happened, and now I'm gonna turn in the truck, and I want to get that over with because I don't want any problems any problem. It's not my property. So yeah, I'm about to hurry up and get that wrapped up and come home, and then I can just explain the full story and tell you what happened. I've been big on transparency, so I don't think I need to start now and start, lying about anything, because one thing with social media, you put yourself out there, then that's pretty much it, right? If you want to stick it out and see how you can grow, that's pretty much it. So I'm pretty open with being transparent. I have no problem doing that at all. So yeah, y'all, let me get this stuff packed up. I've been finding so much joke. It's been comical for me because I have to find some way to joke about it so I don't get to a state where I'm too worried and this and that. But the biggest lesson I'm learning, and I keep learning it since I've started my tanker journey, is to diversify, get different streams of income. And right now, me and God, we gonna have to talk. I'm gonna have to sit down and talk to God, because I feel like God is also talking to me. He's ordering my steps. It's just that I feel like when it comes to my faith and when it comes to the Lord and his voice, hearing his voice, it's not always clear to me. I wish I could just hear the voice telling me what to do, but I realize that I have to pay attention to what's happening, because those are the messages. That's the voice, actually. It's just I'm trying to make sure I'm interpreting it the right way, but my steps are being ordered, I can tell, and that's why I'm not stressing out so much, because I can feel it. I felt it coming. I felt like something tugging on me to be like, I'm kind of not in the right place at the moment. But yeah, and I don't know if it's a tanker world or trucking or what, but I don't know. I'm gonna figure it out, and I'm gonna let y'all know how today turns out, y'all. Okay, y'all, so I'm out the truck and I'm back home now. So I said I was gonna explain exactly what happened. And, to be honest, I don't really have to do all this, but because I really, really, really take my channel seriously, even though I haven't been able to post as much as I used to with my new local life, well, what was my logo life, I just feel like it was relevant information to share, because what's the point of just sharing, half of the story? It's gonna be something that I can look back on eventually and see how my journey progressed throughout my trucking, my trucking journey. Repetitive, but yeah, you get it. So September 30, like any other day, I went to a receiver in Wharton, New Jersey. It's called Whitlock Packaging or PepsiCo Refreshco. So I'm pretty sure any tanker driver that does food grade watches this, they'll know what I'm talking about, in Wharton, New Jersey, right? So I went to Port of Wilmington, like I always do. I had to load myself and then drive there. I even took another route because I hate going through New Jersey Turnpike with the loaded tank, with that little construction and the whole area. I hate having to go through the turnpike. So I went to the 95 instead. I went up to the 202, 287, Springfield, Morristown area, to get to Wharton. Everything was good. I got there at 6 something, 6 going to 6:30, so in between, right? Normally when I get to Wharton, I would just pick up the empty trailer that was offloaded and sitting in the bay, and it's like that tight ass bay, and then I would have to drop my loaded trailer, couple to the empty trailer, drop the empty trailer in the lot somewhere, couple back to my loaded trailer, and then drop it in the bay, uncouple from the loaded trailer that I just dropped, hook up back to the empty trailer, and then head to whichever tank wash, either Ben Salem or I have to bring it into OJ Kearney, New Jersey, right? So the last time, let me not jump the gun. The last time I was at Wharton, which was the previous week, I got there at a good time, ready to uncouple and all that, but I got a call from safety saying that the receiver is asking me to just wait for them. They haven't finished offloading the trailer. So at that point, I was already set up on game. They called me when I was driving. I didn't even answer the call. So when I got to the receiver, I made sure I called back and they told me, right? So that's how much they called me, like 3 times, to be honest, right? So that's how I know there was some urgency on it as well. So this time I didn't hear from nobody at all. I didn't know anything that was going on. I went over to the bay, coupled to the empty trailer, and I raised my landing gear, connected my lines, the whole motion. Now, normally what I would do is there's another bay, a wider bay up top. It's like at a top level where I normally walk up and look down. Y'all, this time I did not do it, and I have to be honest about what happened, because realistically, communication was bad, but I have to also remember when we did our test, right? CDL test, our endorsement test, a lot of the questions asked you, whose responsibility is it? Whose responsibility? And a lot of the questions, I know many of us said it's not our responsibility, but realistically, drivers have a lot of responsibility and we have to take it seriously. So it's like one slip, you can slide. And that's what happened to me. So I didn't do my walk around. The dot door was down. Normally it's raised up. So it's like everything was just different that night, pointing me to the assumption that they were done. It's a regular drop and hook, whatever. Hooked up to the trailer, y'all, and I started driving out. I didn't turn on nothing. I didn't even get far. I started driving out slowly, and bam, I heard a loud bang, right? I stopped immediately. I went outside because I'm like, what the hell? Guess what happened, y'all? Yes, you probably guessed it. The hose was still hooked up to the tank. So it was connected to the back of the tank, to their tank that they offload in their building, right? So they were still in the loading process, right? So at this point, it has to be on me, because no matter what, the driver has to do their walk around. You have to do your walk around just to make sure everything is good. And I didn't do that to check to see that the hose is still connected. So when I pulled forward, the hose got yanked out of the actual tank it's being loaded on. But that wasn't the only problem. In the midst of yanking the hose out, the shutter got hit as well, right? So that's two issues right there. So once the hose came off, a little bit of product came out. The good thing is that there was not a heavy spillage where you have to call a team to clean up and stuff like that, right? So that was a blessing right there. All they had to do was use the water to spray, and they told me that that's good, because normally if it's bad, they have to call a whole team. Now, what happened with this tanker, it's not the one where you have the cabinet with all your valves where you can connect the hose to. It's the one where you have the outlet with the long metal stem, basically, for the valve, where you connect to right there, right? So you'd have to push it in and tighten it to close the valve. But because the product was still being offloaded, there was too much pressure, so you couldn't push it in. They were trying to see if they could close the valve, basically, and have me just move the trailer to the side and then call repair to repair their connection, right? But it wouldn't happen. They were knocking the metal and everything. Nothing would happen to push it in. They were trying to force it in, but it would not budge. So 2 hours, basically, so around 6 something, so after 8 p.m., they finally worked together as a team, and I stood there and watched everything, because at that point, I just wanted to see what the outcome would be. They worked really good as a team to get everything fixed again, decently fixed, not 100%, but enough where the product could be offloaded. So they had me slowly reverse as close as I could to have the hose connect to their tank again, right? So we did get the product offloaded, but because of the issue or any damages to the hose, it went from 8:30 something to 2 a.m. in the morning before that product was offloaded. So I had to basically wait till 2 a.m., then hook up to the empty trailer. Well, I was still hooked up to the empty trailer, because remember, I tried to move it. Hook up to I was already coupled to the empty trailer. I had to pull that out the bay, hook up back to the loaded trailer, and then back into the bay, drop that, and then hook up to my trailer. So that was going towards 3 a.m. And at that point, I just decided I'm gonna park up, because I needed to rest, right, to be safe to drive back to the terminal. So I slept for like 2 hours. Then I went out. I drove to Bensalem, dropped the tank off and everything. And to be honest, y'all, when I was at Wharton and everything, I already made it. Like, I made peace with myself to just come to terms that I know the outcome would not be good, right? I didn't know the severity, or what the end conclusion would be, but I know the outcome wouldn't be good, and I'm going to tell you why. Right now, with everything going on, funny, ironically, I just made that video, right, about not doing a review. Life is just the biggest comedy ever when you think about it. Yeah, so I just made that video, right? And it's a lot of stuff going on. You got budget cuts here, stuff getting thrown out or whatever. I won't go into details, right? So realistically, if you slip right now, you slide. And right now I think the only things being hired for is team drivers. That's really what's being pushed, which we all know as truckers that for a while team driving is the most effective thing for them right now. You know what I'm saying? They get more out of it. So team driving is the only thing that's being pushed. So I feel like for solo drivers right now, OTR, that's where probably the layoff was going on. But with this situation, I just feel like with the local team, because remember how I was saying the local team are good? The local team, I just feel like it's the same thing. Anything that could possibly happen, any mess up, and stuff that was probably forgiven before, I don't think it's going to be forgiven now. And the reason why I said that is because this happened before, and I heard that person didn't get fired. So realistically, they're not taking, and that situation, based on how the receiver explained it, it was a whole different case. But in terms of the spillage and stuff like that, and how far the driver got with the hose still connected. So at this point, it is what it is. I already saw it coming, right? So if anybody that follows me from here, YouTube and on Instagram, you saw I posted and you saw the little signs and I said something happened. I already knew. So by the time I went in today, so September 30th that happened, I reported it once I got to the terminal October 1st in the morning, and by the end of the day, it was mentioned I have to bring the truck in. So I cleaned up my truck this morning, dropped the truck off, spoke to safety, did my exit phone call or whatever. And to be honest, I'm gonna say something that's kind of weird, because probably I should be sad or whatever, but at the same time I was very appreciative of it. It wasn't a case where they were down on me, beating me up, saying this and that. They really kind of set it up in a way where anything that's added to my report is going to be on me to explain it and stuff like that. They're not going to be vindictive and go out their way to mess up my record. They have to report something, understandably. But, they told me that basically, if anything, when it falls off, I am considered rehireable. So they did tell me I can come back, but it's just, right now, I don't really go backwards in life, but I like having that option. So I don't have anything bad to say. I appreciated how everything was handled. To be honest, nobody saw me. If anyone saw me, they were in their truck and they don't know what the heck is going on. So if I would have to say, oh, I got terminated, right? And clearly I'm telling y'all. So yeah, that's really the gist of everything. That's really how it is. So right now I'm back home, and I'm gonna use this week wisely to figure out my next move. If I'm to be more transparent, I don't really know what I'm gonna do. If I'm gonna still try to do tankers to get my 1 year in, because I'm at 6 months to get my 1 year in, and I have October, November, December, just 2 months, because December 5th makes it 2 years in terms of my trucking journey, right? So I have 2 months for it to be 2 years, right? So I'm not far away from that, but I wanted my full year with tanker. So it's deciding, am I gonna stick with tanker, or am I gonna go back to reefer or dry van? That's really the biggest thing to me right now. But what I will say is, it's just too many signs. I need to have multiple streams of income. So this week I have promised myself to really go heavy into my content, go heavy into my social media, because I have worked hard to build my Instagram and my YouTube. And to be honest, my YouTube could be much further, but I'm not consistent because there's not a lot of time. there's not a lot of time, and OTR allowed for me to have a lot of content and be able to have time to still get rest and to still record local. Once I get home, I'm just thinking I need to go to sleep. I need to handle this and go to sleep. And then there's restrictions when to not drive and stuff like that and record, which I have to make sure that I follow those rules. So I haven't been able to really push my YouTube as much as I could have, or wanted to. But right now an opportunity is presenting itself for me to really just do better and dive in, and that's what I'm going to use this week for. Right, I always said I wanted this channel to become more information based, where it's not just a regular vlog about my trucking life, but where people can go back into my videos and be able to gather information. You know what I'm saying? I want it to be something super beneficial. So I think now is the opportunity to use it wisely with everything that's going on out here right now, right? So I wanted to share this because at the end of the day, I know my experience, someone else can learn from it. And the biggest thing, or biggest message here, haste make waste, because I was hasting to get my ass home. Sorry for my language, but I was pushing to get home, have a little daylight, all that stuff, and head home, dropping the trailer off and, come home. And then never ever neglecting the importance of a walk around. A walk around is not just for the pump being connected. It could be probably something on the ground that could probably puncture your tires. You know what I'm saying? It could be something going on with the tires, which I do my walk around, my assessment. I don't skip my pre-trip. It doesn't matter. I don't skip my pre-trip, right? But in terms of a regular walk around, post-trip, stuff like that, it's important. And it's also important to ask questions, because had I just simply, there's never a worker out there, but if I basically rang the bell, because I had to ring the bell to let them know what happened. If I had just gone up and rang the bell to check, I would have seen the hose, right? Or I would have had someone tell me. So it's just certain stuff that you can't neglect when you're a driver, because when it comes to the company, you're expendable. Just like that, it could be good today and bad tomorrow. And it's just another lesson learned. It's just basically right now, like I said, I feel like something is pushing me in a different direction, and not away from trucking, because I told myself trucking is it. It's just a matter of what area I'm going to be moving in when it comes to trucking, because there's so much to do when you have your CDL, right? So yeah, y'all, I just wanted to put that out there. No longer with Indian River. I just got to 3 months. So it's like 3 months Prime, 3 months Indian River. And right now, I just don't like how certain stuff is going. So I'm going to really, really, really sit down and think wisely what my next move is. Am I going to take a chance on myself entirely with everything, or am I going to go back to being a company driver? That's really where it's at. So as always, y'all, thank you so much for listening to me rant. I wanted to share that with you guys, because clearly I'm not just going to pick up and be like, not say that I'm no longer working in this division or with this company. Like, I prefer to mention it and lay it to rest and then move on into my next chapter. Am I disappointed with myself? But am I upset or, distraught, depressed? No, because I just feel like something is really just pushing me in another place, and I don't know how to explain it, but that's just what it's telling me, like within my soul, that everything's gonna be okay. Because if everything is normally okay, I didn't have an accident on the road, no one died, I'm here. So realistically, it's not the worst case scenario. But when it comes to tankers, I feel like tankers, a lot more, there's a lot more severity or seriousness when it comes to certain stuff on your records, right? You can't play around in the tanker world, or it's not as leisure in terms of certain stuff that's handled in the dry van and the reefer division. So that's what it is. I don't want to go through the whole applying, getting turned down like the last time. Oh, you don't have enough experience, yada yada yada. And then the hiring freeze is coming up, so that's another thing I'm thinking about. So you have to deal with that weight as well. Yeah, I don't know, y'all, but that's it for me. I'm about to go get something done, try and be productive for the rest of the day. But I just wanted to tell y'all the story because you know y'all my YouTube fam, and I just would hate to just not be honest. I don't know how not to be honest, to be honest. I'm just pretty much, open book when it comes to certain things. I still have my stuff to myself, but for this, in terms of trucking, I always said I just want to be authentic about stuff that I go through because that's why I started the channel. You can watch my journey from beginning until now, and it's been a lot of ups and downs, but I'm still here. And let's see what's next. I'll definitely share that with you guys. But as always, thank you so much for watching Just Trucking It, and I'll catch you on the next video. Bye, y'all.